Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 brawlers inside of Brawl Stars right now. Since the balance changes dropped a couple of days ago, we've been able to fine tune the meta just a little bit, although it's pretty hard to come to like an exact conclusion because there hasn't been too many competitive games to really look at, but I feel like this is pretty accurate, give or take a few placings. So before we jump into the video, then make sure you're using the correct code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright guys, to start off with the 10th best brawler within this brand new meta, we have Lola. So Lola has received a big buff with the new reload gears. So before, she used to take 1.5 seconds per reload. It's gone down to 1.2, so a 0.3 second reload speed buff doesn't seem like a lot, but I mentioned it a few times already. It's huge, specifically for a brawler like Lola. She was already a brawler which was used pretty much everywhere, specifically the more longer range maps. I can think of like Bridge Too Far, for example, where she can just absolutely melt the highest save. This is just such insane extra DPS. There is a glitch at the moment where her ego doesn't actually replicate the additional reload speed buff, but that'll probably be fixed pretty soon, and then expect Lola to be even better once that's fixed, because it's just going to be insane DPS. So yeah, I think Lola right now is looking to dominate the meta, just be that ultimate kind of flex brawler, which is just good against everything. Alright guys, moving into the 9th best brawler within this meta, we have Amber. So you probably would have predicted this with the reload speed buff. It's just absolutely insane. It takes off 2 seconds to fully charge her full ammo. So before, 8.8 seconds to get her full ammo back, and now it only takes 7 seconds. It just makes it so hard to defeat an Amber because she's constantly replenishing her ammo super fast, and that was one thing that she was nerfed pretty hard on before, which made her kind of fall out the meta a little bit, but now I expect her fully to dominate in this meta. Also, there are a few honorable mentions as well, so it's probably up to like maybe 10 brawlers I could have honestly gotten this top 10 list. This meta feels pretty fresh and pretty balanced overall. I've got brawlers like Squeak, who's just really good everywhere because of that residue gadget. We also have Ruffs, who's just good into everything. We have Rico with the brand new reload gear. On certain maps with a lot of walls, Rico can really lock down a lane, and it's super toxic to face off against, so he's really good specifically in ladder as well. Gale is just dominating against everything. He's going to be a brawler that you can easily rely on when it comes down to Power League, because he's going to shut down tanks so easily. And then we have Gene. There's also a few other brawlers as well with a reload gear that could also surprise us in this meta. But for now, Amber coming in at the 9th best brawlers. I could even expect her to be a little bit higher, give or take, when like competitive starts to really pick up. Okay, so next up, as the 8th best brawler within the meta right now, we have Bonnie. So Bonnie still continues to be one of the best brawlers inside of the game. As I said, Bonnie could easily be like a couple of places above in this list or a couple of places below, but it's pretty hard to back stuff up because there's no competitive stats for this. But anyways, talking about how strong Bonnie is, and everyone knows that Bonnie can basically be the ultimate flex brawler as well, just because she's really good at long range. In her cannon form, she's got such high HP, she can pop the gadget and go super aggressive and get a lot of DPS. And then whenever you have your super, you can always pick an easy target and just catapult yourself onto that brawler. But as the kind of draft system has gone on, there's been a lot more counters to Bonnie. That's why she's maybe not as high as maybe anticipated, because, you know, as people get a little bit smarter, there's going to be different ways to counter. You know, for example, like an Otis mute. You don't want to jump on top of an Otis because he's just going to super you. You've also got like B, for example, who could just hold her 4K shot and just wipe you as soon as you drop. But yeah, Bonnie's still a pretty decent brawler, specifically when it comes to those more passive game modes like Bounty and Knockout. Okay, so next up, as the 7th best brawler in this brand new meta, I've gone with Belle. Belle with the reload speed gear is absolutely insane. So her reload speed has gone from 1.4 seconds to 1.4 seconds. For a sniper, I can pretty much deal with everything in this type of meta. Got super fast projectile speed with her main attack as well, so she's pretty good against longer range brawlers. She's decent against tanks as well with her super. She's just pretty good, much good against everything. Belle was always in and around the top 15 of the meta. She kind of fell from the bottom 10 for a little while, but this reload speed buff is going to be absolutely huge for Belle. There's hardly going to be many contentions against her in that middle area. You know, think of like heist maps, for example. It's going to be so hard to deal with a Belle just constantly spamming out shots 24/7, and it can just make it even easier, as I said, to hit shots yourself, because you'll be able to just constantly spam, specifically when, say, you're down the lane again, like Bridge Too Far, for example. When someone's pretty good at juking, you can just hit even more shots against them because you constantly have ammo available. Again, she's good literally everywhere as well. Maybe I'm overestimating her a little bit, but just from playing her myself, in Power League and whatever else. I think she's an absolute demon in this meta. Okay, so next up, as the 6th best brawler within this meta, we have Max. So Max is another brawler which is just pretty good everywhere right now. I won't really say that she's like overwhelmingly overpowered, just because like still counter in some ways, you know, like a B-slow for example, or just by having a lot of tankier brawlers. But Max is just good against everything. That's why she'll always be in and around the top 10 of this meta right now, unless she receives a nerf. So she's somehow escaping balance changes time and time again, even though she just provides to be such an easy pick in Power League, because you can pretty much go her everywhere. She's really good in bounty, she's really good passively, Brawl on those more passive maps, she's really strong, and she's always in like the top 2 or 3 mids of a map, right? She counters a lot of those other mid brawlers, so you've always got to be scared of a Max pick. So yeah, she just continues to be one of the best brawlers within this meta. Okay, so coming in as the 5th best brawler within this meta right now, we have B. So B still wasn't really nerfed with the last set of balance changes, even though pros were crying out for B to be nerfed quite heavily, just because she's just really strong against everything. When you have this type of brawler in the meta, it can be pretty toxic. Of course, she's going to be shutting down tanks literally in 1v3 scenarios, specifically Brawl as well. She's going to be so strong against so many different archetypes, and that's why people were saying for her to get nerfed, right? So she only received like 1 nerf, which is to her honey molasses. This has literally done nothing, because already like it had a small HP count. Like it was a little bit annoying, but most time people could just pinch and get the honey pot down, but normally it's only really used to tank shots as well, right? So it's not really like that was never the problem with B, is what I'm trying to say. The problem with B was that also as well, she's got such high range. She literally has like the range of Piper, but can deal with those close range brawlers as well. When you have the damage gear available with a charge shot, that's like 4k damage instantly. It's just pretty insane overall. There's not really many counters to beat in this meta, and she's still popping off right now. Okay, so next up, as the 4th best brawler within this meta right now, we have Janet. So still, she evades the balance changes, even though she proves to be probably the most banned / picked brawler within competitive and Power League right now. She's just dominating consistently. She's got 2 really strong gadgets. I've seen a lot of backstage pass right now in competitive, specifically when you're looking to go a little bit more aggro with Janet. You can easily just be flexible with her. It depends on your playstyle. You can easily play pretty passive, chip away the opponents, and of course that damage is gonna build up quite easily because it's so easy to hit her shots consistently. Or you can be a really aggressive Janet, so you can constantly just super up into their faces, spam shots. You can use backstage pass as well to be super aggressive, or you can use drop the base on those really grassy maps. There's just so much flexibility about her, where I can't really pinpoint any true counters to her. She's like the ultimate brawler right now. Okay, so coming in at the 3rd best brawler within this meta, we have Griff. So I feel like right now Griff is such an incredibly toxic brawler with the reload gear. Before he had a 1.7 second reload speed, it's gone down to like 1.35, but rounding it up 1.4, that's 0.3 seconds extra every single reload, which is absolutely insane. You pair this with Griff's insane ability to keep pressure up with his healing style power. Also, his super gets charged so quickly, the ability to open up the map as well. He's so annoying on so many different maps because you only need a couple of wall breaks and that's it. So many different compositions are just completely countered. So Griff is like the ultimate brawler right now, so incredibly strong. Maybe I'm overrating him a little bit on the ranking side, but this is just how I feel, considering I'm playing Power League. Like ladder, Griff just seems to absolutely dominate with all of these things going his way in this meta. Let me know what you think of Griff and how annoying he is in this meta. Alright guys, so moving into the 2nd best brawler within this brand new meta, we have Gus. So Gus right now is absolutely insane. So I was really puzzled to see like 5 buffs, I believe, to Gus in the last set of balance changes, because already it was like a top 10 brawler, and as people start to learn his mechanics even more, he probably had an even high ceiling. So as people have got to learn how to play with Gus and how to play specifically in a lot of those passive maps, you can get such tremendous value with Gus. He's so insane when you have really good team synergy. I've seen it work so many times in competitive where pros are obviously still quite a bit better than me, specifically at landing that super, because I still miss it quite a fair bit, but I see it landed so many times by the pros. And when you pair that with like an aggressive brawler, or just any brawler that's getting close to an objective, right, like picking up some gems, trying to get some extra percentage in hot zone, scoring a goal in Brawl, basically every single mode you can get so much value out of this shield. 3900 HP with an extra damage buff as well. So many things combining to make Gus one of the best brawlers within a game. game. Of course, it has a few weaknesses, like I wouldn't play him on those grassy maps because he can lack the DPS, but overall, pretty much 9 out of 10 maps you're going to get insane value out of this brawler. You've also got a broken gadget as well. There's just so many different things going away, of course. Alright guys, so now moving on to the best brawler within the game right now. I think there would have been no guesses here whatsoever. It has to be Otis still. So Otis is just completely wrecking the meta. He's good against literally everything, and specifically tanks as well. So yeah, Otis is just that ultimate flex brawler. Whenever I watch competitive, he's either picked pretty much every single time at the beginning of the draft, or he's banned out, just showing how strong he is. He's got a pretty decent gadget at scouting the grass, just getting that extra chip damage. His super is pretty toxic, and he also got a buff with his supercharging gear as well. So it's kind of hard to see like how Otis isn't the best brawler within the game right now, and it was pretty hard to see how he didn't get nerfed in the last set of balance changes. Like, it literally was easily the highest picked brawler in competitive, and they just didn't seem to nerf him. Maybe they're still waiting for a bit of data, but as time goes on, he's getting more and more toxic, and he's just completely wrecking everyone in this meta. Alright guys, it's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think of my ranking in the comment section below. As I said, this isn't completely final for the brand new meta, just because normally I like to look at a lot of competitive games and kind of see like the win rate, the pick rate, the ban rate, etc, but there isn't really any data because in I think it was ESL the past few days the new gears were actually banned, so it's pretty hard to see the brand new meta, because I feel like the reload gear is going to have a big impact on the meta, specifically for brawlers like Lola, Amber, Griff, Rico, even Eve for example can be pretty strong without reload gear. So that's going to be it for today's video guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.